Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. Starting over here at the top right side of Cloud Kingdom, I want to welcome you into this Heart of the Swarm, King of the Hill. Starting out here at the top right, it is the Blue Protoss, White Raw himself, the one and only in the blue trunks. Worried about his opponent last game, which I kind of find a little bit funny. Hold on, I'm gonna... to see how they react. I just want to see. But yeah, again, against his opponent down here at the bottom left side, representing Quanta Gaming in their red colors, it is Hyun. So as you guys saw before we started in the game number 5, Hyun accidentally picked Terran as his race, and once he spawned White Raw, I was just like, that's not right. So Ulsi, of course, paused and was like, let's regame. I personally would have loved to see Hyun play Terran, see how he would have played again, utilizing some of the new units. As a Terran player myself, it always does fascinate me a little bit more when watching players that play your own main race. But regardless, this is interesting to see because I think this is kind of one of the most detrimental matchups right now in Heart of the Swarm. When we watch PvT, I think it's a little bit closer and a little bit more balanced than we're typically maybe used to prior in Wings of Liberty. But again, with PvZ, it's completely changed. Well, maybe not completely changed, but it's definitely has taken a little bit of a different sway in regards to meta, into compositions, etc. We're seeing a lot more Hydra, Ling-based builds. Mutas are a lot more viable. We're seeing Vipers getting utilized, of course, some of the new units as well. Meanwhile, we're seeing Protosses you kind of fancy more Stargate units, more kind of Skytoss compositions versus the typical Gateway Robo that we usually see. So, and again, as we saw, I think the best example of that was the game number 1 on Newkirk District when White Raw really showed us a very solid Skytoss, but he didn't utilize Tempest, which I really found interesting. So that's kind of those type of things that you have to keep in mind. White Raw is starting out with the simple Forge Fast Expand over here. On his side of the map, so nothing really too crazy. Hyun, meanwhile, went pull first and going to grab his double hatch again. The Polar Probe is getting completely figured out, so no cannons are going to be placed, so not really any compromise situation for Hyun. And yeah, we're just going to see a very standard opener from both players. Now, again, with some of these openers, some of the differences that we've seen, which doesn't really affect Protoss as much when watching this. Like, as a Terran player, you got to be just a little bit careful and watch out for the Mothership Core, because if that bad boy gets on in there, it could probably pop a couple of SCVs down really quick if you're not too quick about it. But in regards to like Zerg, because they got Queens, the Queens are already in place, kind of that anti-air defense necessary to be able to at least maybe push it back, the Mothership Core a little bit. Now, this one link gets in, again, there's only really so much damage it could do. It's more going to be annoying than anything else, until White Raw can maybe snipe it down or pick it off. As we watch and see, other than that, he's going to be in a very solid standard position. He's getting a Cybernetics core up. And of course, watching somebody like White Raw who plays this kind of innovative, creative Skytoss style, it's very fun to watch him in show matches as well, to see what type of build orders he does. And again, everybody's still learning at the moment, and we're going to be still learning for quite a while. We could all just trace back to Wings of Liberty and Wings of Liberty Beta, how long until, I mean, between all the different patches, between all the different stuff that was going on. In regards to meta shifting, how many different types of things have we seen with the new maps coming on in here? We're going to see a lot of different stuff coming with Heart of the Swarm. It's interesting to see how long some of these older maps will stick around, like Cloud Kingdom, Daybreak, etc. So we're going to be learning a lot, guys. I mean, it's basically like going back to school. It's basically going back to StarCraft 101. The only nice thing about it is the fact that it's an expansion, so it's not completely like a big transition for the players, such as going from Brood War to StarCraft 2. So not getting exactly having to get used to a completely new interface and a new style, new kind of graphics, etc. So, but overall, we're still going to all be going back to school, still learning a lot. And I mean, this is kind of just fortunate for me that I get to cast the Heart of the Swarm show match and just watch and see what they do. And as much analysis as I could give, I definitely am very cautious to make to be careful not to try to overanalyze, because again, there's still so much stuff that I'm not completely used to, especially only played personally myself. I'll be honest, I've only played a little bit over 100 games of Heart of the Swarm, so most of my Heart of the Swarm education has been just kind of by watching some of these show matches and watching players like Idra, the Muslim, some of the Korean players stream Heart of the Swarm. So just a lot of learning, a lot of new stuff. Yeah, 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 yeah. So, as I watch as the game continues on, again, it's nothing really too crazy, nothing too out of the way. Hyun basically just droning up again as normal, getting his lair about halfway done, getting his speed as well. White Ron, meanwhile, taking a very early third as well, and I think we're going to see this a lot more because of the mothership core. The ground units for Zergs cannot really easily or comfortably harass unless they're in good big numbers. So this is kind of one of those things I'm already starting to see and notice from a lot of Protoss players that play against Zergs. They're feeling very comfortable taking a very early third, and of course having that Sky capability is going to be able to clear all the Overlords out of the way. Now, does Hyun go for very fast Hydralisks, or what does he decide to do? It looks like, oh, indeed he will. He will put that bad boy down right there, so getting the Hydralisk down, so we might see just kind of a mass link Hydra composition and put a lot of pressure at the third. He does see the Phoenix, so that's got to make him at least a tiny bit happy, because he might assume that White Raw is going to go for quick Stargate and quick Sky units, such as we saw in game number 1, but it might be the opposite. We might see something more similar to last game, but this time off of 3 bases, getting the robotics bait, which of course constitutes 4 Colossus. Now let's see on the backside over here, good job with the harassment. Not able to really kill anything necessarily, but does force Hyun to react and pull back some of his units, doesn't allow him to be too comfortably and peaceful. At this point, actually, what White Rock could do, he could actually float this Oracle in over here at the third base and be able to do some harassment. I'm actually completely surprised that he didn't. And Hyun doing the standard, as we've seen about 3 games now, if I'm not mistaken. He goes for a quick third and then double expands off of it, grabs his 4th and his 5th and the gases as well. So right after he, looking at it, just basically right as soon as he sees White Rock grab his 3rd, he puts down his 4th and 5th as well. Harassing this down as best as he possibly can. The pulsar beams with the 25 DPS per second, and I'm not sure why he's wasting it on this, but eventually does take down the gas. I actually probably would have wasted the pulsar beam rather on the hatchery, because, you know, any little damage you could do to the hatchery, the better. Now the Phoenixes are caught in a little bit open of the map. He's got to pull them back. Wonderful job getting them, keeping them alive. The Lings and the Hydras are on the map, so you can't really do too much. And because he sees that Oracle and the 2 Phoenixes, Kiana's got to be feeling a little bit more comfortable than he probably is. And with that 3rd Phoenix as well, he might think that White Raw is going to be going for a complete Sky Toss army, but with the Colossus, that is definitely going to be a little bit of a problem, I feel like. So right now, Hyun pressing on in here, trying to take down the rocks with the Hydras and the Lings. He's got a couple of gateways, which of course he hasn't formed them into warp gates yet, because the cybernetics, the warp gate upgrade is not done until probably about the 12-minute mark. This is actually really hilarious. This is something I'm definitely not used to seeing out of Protoss players, and we might see this maybe even more if they just in fact decide to go complete Sky Toss. So the warp gate upgrade is still not finished up just about now, and we'll finally see all those gates warp in. Meanwhile, Alexei finishing up his range on his Colossus, getting his 2nd one out as well, which is going to be very helpful against Wing Hydra compositions. Good job with the Phoenix clearing out any additional Overlords on the map, so that's going to cut out some of the vision for Hyun. Other than that, we're just seeing some harassment over here down at the bottom 5th base at the bottom right side of the map. Spore Crawler getting placed though, so eventually White Rat needs to just go back home. Observer trying to run out of the way here, but I think the Observer will get sniped down. Indeed it will. Not too bad of a deal, because again, Swarm Hosts are not involved. Decided having map control and map presence. As long as there's not really Swarm Hosts, the Observer's not going to be too much of a problem for him. So now we're watching both players start getting into their mid to late game compositions. Already for Hyun, as we take a look and see, he's getting out his Vipers. Where's his Spire at? Oh, am I having a really stupid moment right now? I think I am. Hold on. Where's his Spire? I swear. Okay, people in chat. Okay, this is gonna be. I'm gonna be honest with myself. I'm gonna have a little bit of an embarrassing moment. Vipers need a Spire, right? Good focus fire down on one of the Vipers as well. They need a Spire, right? Or I guess maybe not? I'm having a really stupid moment at the moment, so... No, okay, so they don't need it. Okay, when is it? What the heck? Okay, so never mind. I'm having a stupid moment. I'm having a stupid moment, so learning moment for myself, so... I've upgraded with the infestation pit. Okay, so for whatever reason I thought Spire. My bad, my bad, my bad, my bad. We're still learning. This is like if I had like a caster scouting sheet right now, like weakness, like strengths for Cheesehead Logic. He's Russian. He's got bilingual ability. He could speak in English and Russian. He's played Wings of Liberty. He's a Masters player. Weaknesses. He has weaknesses. He's not used to Heart of the Swarm yet. I know, scumbag. There we go, scumbag flying unit, not need of Spire. So here we go. Hyun pushing on in here into the natural. He's got a lot of zealots at the bottom, but does he have charge on those bad boys yet? And it looks like he does, so that's good. The utilization of charge will be able to. He's going to be able to engage the Hydras a lot faster and closer in person, which is going to allow him to take them out. The Storms, of course, we're going to be able to take out a lot of the light units as well as be able to feed back the Vipers. So. And that's actually something neat we watched in game number 3, where he, aside of losing the game, Whiteright really utilized his feedbacks really well. He was able to really take out a lot of the Vipers without having too much effect on his game. So at this point, both players are kind of jockeying for position. Both players are basically maxed out at the moment. He's just got to be very careful. Oh, beautiful snag right there, solid. But two of the time orbs get thrown down. But again, Whiteright doesn't want to move out too far. And this is so fun to watch right now, because this is gonna even forces are gonna have even more APM aside everything else that he has to do and control and engage. He's got to utilize the Vipers, and it's just so fun to watch. I think that's probably the most neatest thing to watch out of all of ZVPs and all of just Heart of the Swarm right now, is just watching units get yanked. I don't know if you guys watched the GSTL preseason between Axiom and who the heck was it? It was Axiom and somebody else, but basically LGIM, there we go. It was hilarious because he was just snagging I think it was Ragnarok was just dicking around and was just snagging random units like Marines and stuff like that off the high ground. It was really fun to watch. Now, snags the Colossus kind of up in the front, which kind of almost helps out, I guess, Whiteright in a sense, because he's trying to chase down this whole entire composition. A little bit of a late storm right there, catches a lot of his own units at the moment, and trying to catch up as best as he possibly can. Now, Hyun has got to be a little bit careful right here. If he doesn't have the necessary defenses, as he's getting out 8... Now, this I don't understand. He's getting out 8 Ultralisks on top of whatever he's got. Oh, beautiful snipe right there. Look at that, man. Look at that micro right there. Just beautiful job right there by Hyun catching that Colossus. I don't exactly understand or agree with this, but we'll see where it goes. Colossus getting snagged again. Hyun's doing just so beautiful right now at the moment. Yeah, this is just really interesting to watch. Now, on the backside over here at the 5th base, Whiterit's harassing Hyun's base. Going to be able to take out the Spore Crawler, the hatchery probably as well, if Hyun can't get there in time, but it looks like he will. These upgraded zealots, now focusing down the hatchery, so that's a little bit unfortunate. But here we go, and watching as Hyun's remaxing right now. Now he's got a composition of Hydras, Roach, Ultras, and Vipers now. This is something you don't see every day, guys. See, this is with Heart of the Swarm. This is something you just don't see every single day. Now, oh my god, not good, not good, not good, not good. A lot of these High Templars are caught a little bit out of position. He's utilizing the Oracles to try to harass them, but already losing a couple of his units, storming on top of the Ultralisk, catching some of the Hydras on the back trail. And there we go, basically storming the back end of the army, taking out as best as he possibly can everything that's on the backside, like Roaches and the Hydras, and basically trying to engage against the Ultras. The Ultras should be able to get taken down, and as we see, yes indeed they are, but doing a lot of damage right now at the moment as well. Overall, Whiteright trading very efficiently, back up to 163, supply to the 144, though Hyun should be able to remax. He's got a lot of minerals, he's got several hatcheries, of which of course he could utilize to remax very, very efficiently and very fast. Of course, he's got the macro hatch in the main as well. But Whiteright not waiting too much longer. He knows he's got to press his advantage. He's going across the map. He should probably just go right now for the 4th base. Indeed, he does. Goes for the 4th hatch, and there's not really a lot that Hyun could do to defend this at the moment. Being sending 1 Ultra at the time, that's not going to really cut it. He just needs to put up a couple force fields as well to be able to handle all the links. Good job trapping a lot of these units out of the way as well. Vipers are with energy again. He needs to snag those Colossus out of the way before he loses them, but instead just throwing down some blinding cloud. Now this is smart because the Ultras the Ultras need a close range engagement, but overall, I just think there's just way too much Protoss at the moment. Though clearing out a lot of these units out of the way. No blink, I think, for the Stalkers. It doesn't look like it knows that they can't get really out of the way. And wow, surprisingly, Hyun clears this out. Still quite a few Ultras alive right now at the moment, especially with 3 Vipers, but overall, White Raw's still sitting pretty solid. He's sitting on 4 base. He's got 5th Nexus coming up over here at the top left side. At the bottom 4th hatch over here, I mean the bottom 5th hatch over here is not mining, so and as well the 4th got taken out earlier. So the economy for Hyun is kind of stagnant at the moment. We take a look at the main. All the minerals are mined out. The natural, they're getting really close as well. So if Hyun isn't capable of stabilizing here very soon, retaking his 4th and resaturating those additional bases, he might be in a little bit of trouble. White Raw playing this very smart, getting a lot of charge lots and zealots because of course they're going to be able to do quite a bit of damage to the Ultralisks. But I would also like to see more Immortals, which he's adding as well, which could really help out against the Ultras, kind of just that pounding damage with the upgrades. It's just all going to be right now dependent on how well can White Raw actually control this. Even already put up the Nexus cannon up, and as we see, he's going to utilize that and doing quite a kind of funny to watch how much damage he could realistically do. But you know, overall, I think Hyun might just show us the heart of the swarm, using Blinding Cloud to the best of his capability, taking out that Nexus. So no more Nexus cannon. The Archon, the charge lots already all getting cleared out, and these Ultralisks are just strong, man. Wow, these